Good morning. It's Ben here. I'm not licensed. I want to come on here and do a background video. I know I said I was going to do this before, and here it is. Shall I redact some of the things? Probably yes. Just just because some things are more embarrassing than others, but ultimately, in a matter of 15 to 30 minutes, I don't believe that I'm going to be able to cover everything. But let's just get the big shit out of the way. So in that way, anybody that watches any of these videos can kind of understand where I'm coming from. Because, let's see, I've been on this earth for almost 50 years now, and I have seen and done a lot of shit. So, let's just start off. All right. So, my name is Ben. I am not licensed, as I have said before, and I'll continue to say, nor am I going to become licensed, at least as a therapist of any sort. So, born in 1975, grew up poor, been poor, probably will be poor until I finally figure it out, get off my ass and make something happen. Am I comfortable? Yeah, I guess you could say that. Could I use some more money? Sure, absolutely. Could we all use some more money? 100%. But anyways, growing up, no father in the picture. Met him when I was graduating from 8th grade, and that lasted maybe a couple of years. Went out to his house and met my grandparents on his side for the summer, and that was about it. Didn't really materialize into much. Kept in touch with my grandparents a little bit. They passed away. Dad might as well have just passed away as well, because he disappeared back into the shadows that he came from. Growing up, had different guys in my life in regards to like stepfathers or whatnot, stepdads, step boyfriends, whatever you want to call them. Couple of positive influences. Guy Jay that taught me how to golf when I was about 11, 12 years old. So that was pretty positive. Really liked to golf. Ended up getting a hole in one at about 12 years old. So that was pretty cool. But again, he taught me how to golf. Did a lot of cool stuff over in Northern California. Moving on, graduated back in 1992, year early. Had a job, so I didn't get to go and do my last year of school. Did, like I said, graduated early. But I did what's called independent studies, where you go to school for like, I don't know, 4 hours a week or whatever it was, because I had a job. And hate to put her out there like that, but as I started growing up, mom kind of like floated in and floated out. Boyfriends were kind of more important than I was. My sister was. I have two sisters. I have a half sister on my mom's side and a half sister on my dad's side. Where my half sister on my dad's side is, I couldn't tell you. She met her when I was out there meeting and greeting all the family and all that stuff when I was out in California, and just never really kept up with her. I'm really not very good at that. Keep up with my sister. She lives out in Las Vegas. I'm a sister on my mom's side that we grew up together. Went through a lot of the same shit together, and kind of essentially just grew up poor together. Had a pretty decent life. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like poor, we were eating, fucking macaroni and cheese and mashed potatoes for extended periods of time, but, still grew up poor nonetheless. Always envious of those that had more. Always wanted to have more, would like to have more, but still got to go and have some experiences, Disneyland, Magic Mountain, California stuff. There's a little bit of traveling throughout. One of my mom's husbands was, he worked in a produce company, so it was a seasonal thing, so we would kind of go back and forth. Lived up in an river area, so did a lot of swimming, jumping off the rocks, hiking, stuff like that as a kid. Making my way into later teenage adulthood, if you will. Moved in with a buddy of mine in high school. he turned out to be gay, which was cool. I mean, didn't bother me one bit. I mean, he was just a fun guy. We did a lot of cool shit together, had a lot of really, really good times. As of like right now, I would have to say that Frankie was probably like the best friend I've ever had in my entire life. It's pretty safe to say that. He really was. His mom took me in high school, and you know, was just there for me. He got me a job at a video store, did some stuff, just, you know, stuff that teenagers will do. Go out and, create havoc and do dumb shit. It's not dumb shit like they do nowadays, but, just dumb shit. Stay out late, long drives, going nowhere, doing nothing, talking about nothing in general, just talking. Ended up getting first daughter's mom pregnant around 19 years old. I believe that happened. Conception was probably in Paradise, California. It's pretty fitting because she turned out to be an absolutely amazing human being. Unfortunately for me and for her mom as well, we ended up putting her up for adoption. She was adopted by a couple out of Carmel, California that was just, they were really, really super good. They were absolutely supportive of everything she wanted to do. She grew up having the life that I would have never been able to provide for her. So, and she became an absolute stellar fucking human being. She is an EMT firefighter. She's married to a cop who was in the Army before that. She's got 2 kids. She's just a good human being. Fast forward through my 20s and early 30s, it was just a lot of drinking and doing dumb shit. Just dumb shit guys will do. Ended up meeting Riley's mom in 2004. Got pregnant, had Riley in 2005. We were married for 18 years. Been divorced now for going on, 4 or so maybe. I don't know, I'd have to look at the paperwork. But Riley as well has just become, who couldn't brag about a kid who's 19 years old? She went into the Army at 18 years old. She didn't even walk for her, graduation. She just like said, I'm gonna go right into the Army. So as soon as she got her diploma, she was already committed to going to the Army. She went into the Army at 18, went through boot camp, went through basic training, and has since shipped out overseas. So 19 years old, deployed. She's gone from one location to another now, and she's probably going to be there for another 5 months or so, maybe 6. It was supposed to be 3, 3, and 3. Her first location she was going to go to for a few months, then she was going to go to her second location for a few months, then go back to the first location for a debrief, and then come back to the States. So she's currently at her second location as of right now. Let's see. I got a couple of, I got about five nieces and nephews. Yeah, my sister's side. Let's see. Justice, Leland, Malachi, Queen, Keith. Yeah, 5. Bunch of good kids. Malachi's a Marine. Keith's a lifeguard. I don't know what the other ones do. I know Justice is still just a kid, so she just does her thing. But, goes to the whole growing up thing, right? Growing up, having a purpose, growing up poor, wanting to have more, not wanting our kids to grow up with less than what we had, wanting our kids to do better than what we did. And, you know, you just, some days I personally, and this is obviously all just me, right? This is just me and my personal opinion. This has nothing to do with anything anybody else has going on in their lives. But you know, you just want your kids to grow up to know the meaning of life, know the value of a dollar, know what's the difference between right and wrong, and be able to make, you know, educated decisions about their lives. You know, you see so many kids these days and they just have absolutely no clue. A perfect example. Watching the show, what is it? Your Neighbors and Friends and Neighbors or some shit like that, right? Where the guy was like this big stockbroker guy, loses his job, ends up starting to steal stuff from people, right? And then the finds his wife in bed with another guy. Then they separate. He's still paying for the house. Guy's kind of moved in, and like the son is one of those kids, wears his headphones, he's like dead to the world, you know, anxiety and blah 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 blah. So the topic of conversation comes up where it's like, well, do you feel bad for that kid? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't feel bad for kids that walk around with their head in the sand thinking that, oh, poor me, poor me. Oh, I don't have any friends. I don't like people. I don't like to go out in society. I have anxiety. I can't do this. I can't do that. Well, it's a choice. We all have choices. So you have a choice whether or not you want to go make friends or not. If you want to sit in your room and get fat and play video games and do nothing and just be an introvert your entire life, that's your choice. So when it comes to me saying I don't feel bad for kids like that, I don't. Mine didn't do that. And I'm not saying that mine is perfect by any means. But the kids that do, that's their choice, and it's their parents' choice for letting them continue to do that. If you have no intentions on helping your kid become a productive part of society, well, then you're just as much part of the problem. But anyways, going back to my back history, right? During my long marriage, ended up getting picking up a foreclosure, lost a house over on the east coast of Florida. You know, I was an absolute alcoholic. I was a horrible human being. I was a shitty person to my stepson. I was a shitty person to those people, those around me. I was like a shitty friend. I was a shitty employee. I mean, I was just a shitty human being. Picked up some arrests, went to jail for drunken in this, drunk in that. I mean, just dumb, absolutely dumb shit. Ended up buying or trying to distribute BMX bikes while I was racing BMX here in the States. And that happened. Again, lost that opportunity to somebody that had deeper pockets. It is what it is. I mean, some people unfortunately just have better luck than others, I guess. You know, better friends, better parents, better money, better credit score, better whatever. End up getting a bait store, retail store, didn't know anything about it. Ran it poorly. I mean, made a whole bunch of friends and still have a lot of people that see me in public and they're like, oh man, we miss you. Well, we really wish your store was still open. You know, there's still that. Ended up picking up a huge tax debt on that, which was paid back because I didn't come with a manual. You know, when you buy a business, it doesn't come with a manual, and if people don't help you, and you don't ask questions, and you don't, like, I don't know, if you don't know, you don't know, right? But whatever. Closed that down, got screwed over by some people selling some stuff. I was selling some stuff to them on the way out the door to try to pick up some money to make off of the store, and it just, whatever. Let's see. Raced bicycles for, 20 plus years, BMX bikes. Tried the motocross thing. The motocross thing didn't really work out very much. Turns out that you kind of have to have money to do that. And I was just a young kid. I was working at a tire shop out in California, which we did a lot of work, but you don't make a lot of money. You know, and $100 set of handlebars, shit adds up quickly. $200 for a tire, $100 for a tire, $150 for a tire, whatever, you know, 50, $60 for entry fee. I mean, it adds up. So you realize really quickly in reality that, you know, you just, sometimes you just can't afford to do the things you love. Video games became like a popular thing for me, right? So video games was one of my go-tos because it was cheap. It was just a game system. You know, sometimes you would get another game, you would get a new game, you would ask for a game and whatnot. But ultimately, as long as you had the system, it was more or less, you know, paid for entertainment. You know, I didn't have the luxuries of going to my mom and asking her for money so that I could buy this or buy that, or that she would buy me this or buy me that, or, you know, the whole, these kids nowadays, they're so fucking spoiled, it's ridiculous, you know. And I don't know why. Is it that the parents are just trying to keep them happy so that they don't destroy their house, or they, excuse me, trying to keep their kids happy because they want their kids to have everything they didn't have, but in the interim they're not teaching them the value of a dollar? I mean, I don't fucking know. I have no idea. I really don't. I mean, I tried to do the best I could with what I had. You know, I don't think that Riley went without all the time, but there was definitely a lot of times where, you know, you just feel helpless because you just don't have the means to do the things that you would like to do, you know. And it wasn't so much that I wanted her to have what I didn't have. What I didn't want her to do was have to bear the burden of not having it, if that makes any sense, right? Because that would suck as a kid. You know, did she have a shitty upbringing? I don't think so. Did her brother have a shitty upbringing? I don't think so either. We did stuff. We went to amusement parks. We traveled around. We did this and that and the other thing. Unfortunately, we just had to budget it a lot better than others. And there was a lot of times when we would borrow from Peter to pay Paul to make sure that the kids in the house was taken care of. Luckily, my ex-wife was a pretty good budgeter, and she footed the bill on a lot of stuff, and she took care of a lot of stuff. So for the things that she was not, there was a lot of good things that she was. But shit happens, you know. People don't stay together forever. So moving on, you know, you end up, what do you do with this? You know, I ended up picking up a captain's license from the bait store, or while I was at the bait store, I ended up picking up a captain's license. So then started doing captain's trips. And then I was doing my commercial diving, which I had learned down in Naples. While I was down and out, I needed a job, so I reached out to a buddy and said, hey, I need a job. Can you help me out? And he says, sure. You ever been a diver? And I said, nope. Day one, I had a full face mask on, underwater, no idea what the fuck I was doing. I didn't know so much. I didn't know anything to the tune of, I actually took a scraper and absolutely just scraped off an entire zinc off of a trim tab. The guy that was teaching me was like, yeah, you weren't supposed to do that. Made it super shiny, and I mean, it was like, yeah, it was a learning experience for sure. Ended up realizing that I was getting fucked over. You know, customer said, oh, well, he charges me this much. And I was like, God, so he charges you that much and this is all he's paying me? I'm like, fuck. So then I thought, well, I can do this. $125 later, got an LLC, get your insurance, you know, bank account, so on and so forth, shaking hands, kissing babies. One boat turns to 2, which turns to 3, which turns to 10, which turns to 20. And, you know, next thing you know, you've got, you know, a few dozen boats on a monthly basis that you're cleaning on. And then, you know, you start doing some captain work on top of that. And, you know, you're just basically just cramming your life into 7 days in hopes that it's enough. So then you go, okay, well, what can I do? I end up getting lucky post Ian, finding a diver that I ran into before, and him and another one of his diver friends are helping me out to do some dive work for me while I do a lot of the captain stuff, which is great, but I take a 60% cut because I'm paying them. Obviously that's just part of business. I mean, that's not their fault. It's just business. So it's a matter of whether or not I pick up more work, more captain work, more dive work, go back to do diving work. I mean, there's just so many options out there. There's a million ways to skin a cat. Florida's just known for being able to just make money. You can make a lot of money in the state of Florida, a lot of different ways. But I seem to have a knack for building relationships, and that seems to be what works. So I like to tend to stick with what works. So I've been very fortunate that I've been able to take kind of like a back seat, if you will, for a little while the dive work has been handled. Now I'm like looking at doing the Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon or fulfillment by merchant thing, to try to make some more money on the side. Because, I mean, let's face it, I'm not made of money. Never have been. I've always had to work for every fucking thing that I have. And everything that I have that I didn't work for, I worked to pay back the debt in which I've got it. So, yeah. It's been kind of a long road, like my marriage was a really, really up and down thing, and I can't fault her for it because I was the drinker. It was me. Was drinking when I met her. I was drinking when we were together, and I was a drinker all throughout. And only till we got divorced did I decide to just kick it. Too little, too late? I don't know. I mean, I look at it like it was probably the best for both of us. She moved on, I moved on, everybody's happier for it. It's just life, right? You find somebody else, or you find another person, and you hope that that's a person that you can gel with and you can get along with and you can do things with, and but it's like a new job. You have to learn a new job. You're going to learn a new person and all their nuances, pros and cons. Same thing goes for me. I mean, like these people or this person or or another person has to do the same thing, right? They have to learn these things. Start doing some bass tournaments. Bass tournaments are a lot of fun. I'm a very competitive person. I like to compete. I like to fish. Unfortunately, my partner does not like to do the things that need to be done in order to find fish and to be competitive. He likes to talk to other people, rely on what they tell him, and then go and do the things that they tell him to do, or the places he tells him to go fish, and it just doesn't work that way. And why does it not work that way? Because fishermen are fucking liars. I mean, unless you're in the club, there is no way in hell you are going to get viable information that is going to help you become competitive. It's not going to happen. So, we've taken a break from that. Bought all of his bait making material, bought it, paid for it, used it, made some baits, thought, oh man, I'm going to be the next Bass Pro. Realized really quickly that after you go and you put in a whole day of work underwater and then you come home, the last thing you want to do is spend hours out in the garage cooking baits. So ended up giving a guy an opportunity to make payments. He ends up screwing me in the end. So I have the paperwork to take him to small claims. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just one of those things where, you're just nice and you just give people the benefit of the doubt and then they fuck you. Yeah. So, there's that. Let's see. What else? I didn't get a car at 16. Nobody's handed me a car. Nobody gave me a car. Any cars I've ever had, I had to buy. I had to pay for, I had to fix. There's a lot of people out there that are in the same boat. I mean, I'm not any different. This is just my story versus someone else's story. It's just me venting to you, and YouTube and my phone, because that's what it's here for. You know, to tell my story, because maybe my story might reflect on somebody else's story, and maybe somebody else might say, oh, hey, like that makes a lot of sense, or hey, that doesn't make any sense at all, or hey, you're full of shit, or hey, this or that or the other thing, which is totally acceptable. I mean, hey, we're all different. Everybody makes different choices. It's part of human nature. Let's see. What else do we have here? I did recently see a thing online. I don't remember exactly if it was a post or if it was a short or whatever. I think it was probably one of those motivational pages or whatever. And it was talking about like men's suicide, right? And the men's suicide rate is pretty shitty, right? It's in the high 70%. And it does kind of suck because I personally don't believe that suicide is ever an option, but that's just my personal opinion. Everybody's opinion is different. I don't believe that it's an option. I think it's a selfish way out. I think that, taking yourself out of other people's lives is pretty shitty. It's different if you get hit by a car, you pick up cancer, you die from something else outside of your own hand. And it said, that the little reel that said, dads don't commit suicide for themselves. They commit suicide. They don't commit suicide because they don't want to leave children fatherless and wives wifeless or husbandless and parents sonless and this and that and the other thing. And I was like, I don't know, it's a fucking shitty way of looking at it. How about just don't do it? Pick up the phone, call somebody, reach out to somebody. There's been plenty of times where I've been down in the dumps, and you're on social media and you're just crying out for help, like, oh, I just want somebody to listen to me. I just want some help. And then what does it do? What happens? You end up getting help from everybody that knows more than you. And instead of listening to what you have to say, they want to talk over you and they want to talk you down and they want to tell you their story and they want to tell you this and they want to talk. And the only thing you want them to do is shut the fuck up so that they can listen. That's one of the reasons why I started the channel, which is called I'm Not Licensed, right? Because I have a really good friend and she is licensed. And she was my therapist for a while. And what I used to tell her is like, look, I don't come here so that you can fix me. I don't come here so that you can write my shit down in a file. I mean, you do whatever you got to do for your your profession and whatnot. But I just want you to listen to what I have to say. I just want to come here and I want to vent, just like YouTube. I want to come here, I want to vent, and I want to tell my story. I want to bitch and moan. I want to talk shit. I want to fucking, I want to point out things that are going on in my life, because a lot of the times those things might be things that are going on in your life, and I just want to vent. And so that's why I started this, called I'm Not Licensed, because I just want you to do the same thing. I'm not licensed. I can't give you any clinical help, and I sure as shit don't want to try to fix you. But if you want somebody to listen to you, I'm more than happy to listen to you. I'm more than happy to, have some discord with you. Discord or discourse? Discourse with you in regards to, what might be going on in your life. Maybe I've had a similar experience. Maybe I haven't. Maybe some experiences that you have are some things that, I do have something I could say or help with, or that I can't, or whatnot. Or if you do just want to just say, hey, listen, I just want you to just be quiet and listen to me. Maybe chime in every now and then. Let me know you're not sleeping. Go from there. And that's why this channel started. It's why I started. It's why I named it what I named it. Here I am. 49 years old. I'm sitting on the back porch of a house that's not mine, next to a pool that's not mine, with a car in the driveway that's not mine, just a very small bank account, a lot of ideas, a lot of motivation, a lot of will, want, desire, to be something more than I am, to be able to give more, to do more. And I think it's been because of all of the years of growing up and not having to be able to help somebody that wants or needs to be helped. You could change their life. Nobody came to me and said, "Oh, Ben, you got some great ideas. Let's talk about it. Let's brainstorm about it. Let's get you started in a business." No, I went out looking and seeking and searching, and I found somebody that was willing to help me, and then at the end, they pulled the plug. That's what happens. You deal with people that have money, and it's their money. Do they want to give it to you, or do they want to use it to help you? It's up to them. If they're not willing to do it, they're not going to do it. I've always said that if it was me and I won the lottery, I would love to just help people. I would love to do some sort of like a Shark Tank thing where, you just help people that, want to be helped. Not everybody wants to be helped. Some people don't mind just going to their mundane job, punching the clock from 8 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 6, whatever the hours are, going home and living their life and wash, rinse, repeat Groundhog Day style. Obviously I can't really cover 49 years in a half an hour, but I think that kind of gets the gist of it. I've done a lot of cool shit in my life, but I'm not going to sit here and brag about it because, let's face it, going to some events and being treated like somebody that you're not, it's all sounds cool, but, it's the sustainability of that lifestyle, and usually that lifestyle costs money. So it's just a lot easier for me to just sit back, play some PlayStation, grab a fishing rod, go out, walk a lake, do some fishing, sit here and Snapchat with my kid from overseas, reflect my life, wonder what the fuck I'm doing and what the fuck I'm gonna do for the next 25 years. Since I'm already, let's say, 2/3 of the way through. If life expectancy in the United States is somewhere around 75 years old for men, I'm already 2/3 of the way there. So, that's just a little history, I guess. I don't know. Kind of turned more into a rant than a history lesson. But we'll get more into it as time goes on. I start doing some hashtagging and stuff. I'm waiting on a lawsuit to finish up so that I can do some more stuff, have a little bit more freedom. So we'll see. Until then, if you need anything, anything I can help with, feel free, reach out. I don't know, comment, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, send nudes and all that other bullshit that all of your other fucking YouTubers says. It helps me with the algorithm. Yeah, it also helps me get paid, right? Yes, because I've noticed that some people are starting to do multiple pages, which I do have another page. It's old and it only has a few videos on it, a few like BMX racing videos. It's a personal page. I don't really do anything with it. I never really thought to make YouTube like some sort of a run for a paycheck. It'd be nice. It would definitely be nice to be able to go sit by a lake, throw down with some motivational video, do some talking, maybe bring some people on, talk about some people, help some people, stuff like that. That would actually make me pretty happy. I feel like I have a purpose for helping people. And I just, that's what I want to do. So, sorry that it didn't get too in depth as far as to the history of me and being unlicensed and all, but over time we'll get there. Until then, tell somebody you love them. See you on the next one.